And hello, good evening. From Manila, it's 10 o'clock in the evening. Dubai is 6 o'clock in the evening. South Africa is probably around 3. And we're podcasting again and we're live. Welcome to Free Talk with Mr. B and the entire panel. For last week, we've been talking about hope. And today we're transitioning about some of the last aspect of the household and what do children give back to parents? What do they even owe their parents? In this case, we will turn it over to Sameena as we get right into our discussion on Free Talk with Mr. B.
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. B. And I'm so glad and happy to be back again live with all of my panel here and my co hosts and speakers. Thank you so much, Sister Mia, Ms. Dedra, and yourself. All of us are, in different parts of the world, and amidst everything that's happening in the day, we are here for this 30 minutes of free talk with Mr. B, of course. So, yes, like Mr. B just mentioned, this is uh, probably our end of season three. That we would explain a little later on in terms of getting into the next season. So, as we close season three, we are going to be discussing about what children or what kids can give back to their parents. There's a lot which the children actually are expected to give back to their parents. But in our discussion, let's talk about, are the children really giving back to their parents? And if yes, how? If no, why? In terms of, why are they not being able to give? Because I'm sure there's a reason to that. So I would first up say that, children are definitely able to give back because their principles, it comes from the upbringing, I feel. Though I don't have my own children, I can see my sister's children and the way my parents have brought me up. It's in the upbringing, it's in the family values and principles which we all have been given by our parents, that we know that how important giving is. So, with that, what would you say, Ms. Dedra? What is your experience on this? How do children give back to their families and parents and the society?
Well, first of all, I mean, gosh, I have so much to say about this. It's going to be really hard to condense it, honestly,
Yeah.
because, all my life, growing up, I wanted a family. I mean, I knew for sure, like, there was never a doubt that I wanted to be a family person and have children of my own. And I just knew that I was going to raise them properly. That was just a huge goal in my life. And I'm proud to say, I really believe that I've done that. I believe that I've reached that goal. I can tick that box, as mission accomplished. I've raised 4 amazing people that are going to go out into the world and do good things.
MashaAllah.
They are going to have families of their own, and they're going to take the values that I think that I've taught them well, and they're going to teach their own families. So it's an effect that will spread. So that gives me a sense of great deep satisfaction, knowing that I actually did that. That's one of the best accomplishments a person can actually do in this world, is put something good out there in terms of raising great people that are going to do positive things for the world. They'll be assets to the world, not liabilities.
Yes.
And as a mother of an autistic son, I can tell you that you would think that that would be the most challenging, but and on the other hand, it's the one that gives back the most in a way, because he taught me how to really believe in miracles. Honestly, Ibrahim, I mean, when you see an autistic person learn how to read a word or learn how to add or subtract or do something that we take for granted and do every day, it's like looking at a miracle. It really is like looking at a live miracle happening right in front of your eyes. And whenever he smiles at me or hugs me, it's so genuine. Like, it's impossible for somebody autistic to fake anything. So that's like the most real, genuine love that you can ever experience is love from somebody who suffers from autism, honestly. So I mean, my heart gets like full of joy and satisfaction quite often, I think, actually. So they do give to me right now.
Yes,
Very,
yes,
very cool.
absolutely. And we hope and pray that he will continue to give back these happy moments and these moments of pride to you, all the four of your children. Yes, Mr. B, you were saying something?
No, I was saying that it's just really, really cool. You know, we think about an emotional discussion around hope, but our children are very emotional to us, and I mean, I call it failures and successes, but as we put them all together, Dedra said something about something very similar to what I say in my book, that we want to producing members of society, not menace to society, but they can go into the societal
It's
community
actually
and
I like that.
yeah, because it's what we're looking for, and it's like what you said, and it's another art or style of giving back.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Absolutely. I think each of the parents always wants their children to be responsible and, like you said, very, very contributing members to the society who are respected in the society
Yes.
for the values which they are practicing. Let's hear from Sister Mia. And every day, her difficulties and everything. I'm sure she's been teaching her little one all the best things that she needs to, because she's all about giving back. Yeah.
Yes, so Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon, evening, and morning to everybody wherever you are. I love the topic because you know what, children are a gift, really, in every essence of the word. And if we have to just sit back, us as parents, for example, and Samina, inshallah, one day you will be this. You will also one day sit back and when you're going through, for example, a difficulty of your own, no matter what your position is in life, one of the motivating factors for you to keep going would be your child. That in itself becomes where you bring hope to the child. When that child is viewing you as you pushing forth, because the child is seeing how you are overcoming, the child is seeing how you are growing in whatever you are facing. And remember, children know, children sin, children know everything that you are going through. So basically, what you are what you are giving back to yourself is what your child is going to learn. Your
Yes.
children really sponge off you. They sponge off you in every way, not just when they want the Wi-Fi password. Okay, they literally sponge off you from everything that you go through and everything that you are doing. So, for example, when I'm going out and doing any of my work, some of the community work that I do take my daughter with me, and she does a few of the things. Of course, when it's safe enough for her to come with me, then only would I do it. But the point is, she has now engulfed that within herself. She wants to do it in her school. She wants to do programs like that with her kids as youth programs in the communities themselves. So basically, what we give to them, they want to give back double fold if they see and feel that it's actually doing good. You know,
Yeah,
so you are literally mirroring what they would love. And when they learn to feel that they love it, then all we need to do is grow and guide that. Sometimes the child does not necessarily fall into the category of, I want to do what mom is doing exactly. And they try and find different avenues of what might work for them. And if it works for them in a positive sense, then we just have to be the good guardian and make sure that we grow that as long as they're giving back potentially positive back into the community and society. And of course, it must be beneficial for them first as well.
yeah, and I like what you're saying. I'm going to jump right in. Yeah, I mean, Samina, I like what you're saying because
Yes.
I wrote right away when I opened this nugget in the book, Nugget number 10, and I said that most parents want to be proud of their kids.
Yes.
Most parents want to be proud of their kids, but Sister Mia, by what you're saying, and when your children take up the mantra that you're walking with, they're
Yeah.
they're actually very proud of what you're doing and say, I want to do it too.
Yes.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so I thought that is fascinating. And that's what they're giving back. They're giving back that sense of pride that we want to be proud of our children. So they're doing something to make us proud. And that's the one of the, to me anyway, I said that was one of the first fascinating things about children giving back to parents. If a child could make a parent proud of them, and of course hear it from the parent, that is a form of giving back that's magnificent.
Yeah, it is. You just have to sometimes look at at a child when it's nearly exam time. Like right now, kids are all getting prepared for examinations everywhere. And as soon as it's results time, what's the first thing they're wondering? Oh gosh, I'm gonna take the report card home. What's mom gonna say? So that's how important your contribution is to the child, is your appreciation of what they've done. And dare they not have studied for something, it's about, oh my gosh, mom's gonna throw her toys. So you do have that added value to children. Just don't know the impact that you have. And when they're doing their best and they know that they're gonna get the best out of you because of what they're doing, they're just gonna give it that extra 200%.
Sure.
And they're giving
Absolutely.
back. Sameena?
Yes, and this just gave me a thought as I was listening to you guys, that, often parents ask their children, what are you going to be when you grow up? I think parents should also concentrate more on not just making them a professional or a doctor or teacher or engineer or whatever it is, but then give them help model generosity, help model the feeling of giving back, the impulse
Yeah.
itself, all those things which will make them a very good human being first, and then they
Right.
make the right choices of what they want to
Yeah.
be. So,
Well,
Yeah.
I agree 100% with that.
But
And I
Dedra,
think,
I'm going to
yeah,
interrupt you. I'm so sorry, because
sure,
you said
sure.
something earlier that we should really pay attention to, because when Sameena is talking about that level of genuinity, you spoke about an autistic child that you have the experience with. And interesting
Hmm.
enough, every child should do what that autistic child you described did, your autistic child. Every child should
yeah,
have that in their heart, that fine, genuine, gem-like love and admiration for their parent to give that kind of hug. So it really impacted me what you said. It was not an autistic child. That was a wonderful human doing that. And so
Yeah, true, true.
what's more about that?
That, yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you. And I totally agree that our first goal is making sure that they are good human beings. I mean, regardless of what they end up doing as a profession. I mean, I think I'm a little old school in this, in that I've always told them, look, whatever you do, do it with honor. This is the
yeah.
most important thing. Even if you end up sweeping streets, you make
Hmm.
sure that your street is the cleanest street in the city. You do your job with pride and honor, and
Yes.
it's honest money. Honest money will always turn out good things, and don't take shortcuts and be a cheapo or try to get away with things, or just, try to take shortcuts, and do things halfway, because people will not respect you for that. This is not how you get people's respect.
Yeah.
You do things properly, or you don't do them at all. And they really heard me when I said that, because
Right.
I have to say, I'm very proud to say that all of them are like that. All four of them, they're very accomplishment oriented, but I did not force that on them. It's just simply that they put their best foot forward, because they do their jobs with honor, and pride in what
That's
they're
wonderful.
doing. Right,
Yeah.
For sure.
exactly. And that sets examples for other people too, because God knows we don't have enough of that in the world right now. I mean, if we're being really
Yeah.
honest here, we don't. We have people who take the easy route. They just want to get away with things, So the more good examples you can put out into society, I think you're doing
Hmm.
society a service. Honestly.
Yeah. And then,
Yes,
Sister Mia could help us with this one too, because before this program came on, some people already started giving me feedback based on the title alone. And I know they may be expecting more detail about what do children owe the parents. And what comes to mind a lot of times is when the parents get older, whether or not
absolutely.
the kids are responsible to care for them like we did
Right.
in most societies, you know? And so I know, I don't know how to say it. I do know that we will bring up more of those discussions, because every time we talk about resources or finances or why and what do you give, that will come up again.
Right.
And so it's really nice that we're covering the fundamental aspect of children giving back, which is pride, love, admiration, and
Mhm.
respect for the parents. You know, because
Right.
a lot of things will fall into place after that. And I think Sister Mia, we have that culture in us, even from Soweto to South Africa in that region, to the islands of the Caribbean, to China and India. And I think it's regularly said that children must honor their parents and especially respect the parents as time continues on, regardless of their ages.
Yes, it's definitely something that is innate. It's something that's taught in every culture and every faith. I think everyone is always given the principle, and it is a principle, that if you are given this from your parent, especially because they are your parent, you need to please ensure that you take care of their needs when they are older. I do have to give a counterpoint there in terms of my experience, though, with people. And sometimes children are given a hard bargain. Children don't get the necessary love and attention that is required, dutiful from a parent to them. As a result, they grow up and they become rather distant from their parent because they didn't receive it. So
Right.
that's a whole different, that's a different conversation altogether. That can take another program. But there are children that do not receive that. And as a
Yeah.
result, you cannot inculcate in that child the need to have to look after a parent who threw them aside. That's, that is there in society. The other thing is, that I've experienced, where, and it's very sad, is that where you get parents who give 200% to these children, who become educated enough to have professions, and unfortunately they become a whole 360 somebody after they get married, and the parent who brought them up to that point falls away. And you do then find elders being put into old age homes because their kids are married and they're living their professional lives, so there's no time for looking after an elder, etc., etc. So there are multiple folds of what happens, emotionally out there in the world. But again, I think it becomes a promoting factor for you within yourself to learn, how do you become a best parent, and how do you as a child become the better child, so that each one lives properly with the respect and understanding that's necessary. Because as time goes on, remember, time is a gift that's given unto you from your creator. And what you do with your time is what is the gift that you give back.
Right.
So time really is all about the essence. And it's really very important for us to understand both sides of the coin. So yes, we do have the kids who would honor and love and look after their parent until death. But then you have the kids who don't receive anything from those parents and who feel that I'm not going to have to do that because I never got it. So that's what I've experienced thus far. But yes, it's definitely out there that children love to give back. They do. It's in them to love. And when they're not receiving love, it's hard for them to know where to get that love to be sent to.
I'm so
Yeah.
glad it wasn't me this time that flipped the coin. For a change, it was somebody else. Thank you.
Yeah.
I wrote in the
You're
book
totally
too.
right, though.
I wrote in the book, regardless of what decision the children make about as they get older and mature or more professional, that they too are going to become parents. They too are going
Mhm.
to have established spouses. They too are going to decide what they're going to get from their children if they, when they become parents.
Right.
And so the choices they make are theirs. In the USA, we use the word getting off the payroll. And getting off the payroll meant that they're self-sustaining. They have grown and they have learned and so on. And I think it's also a good giving back when parents, even if they're taking care with meager resources of themselves, they want to know that children are not in need. And so one way
Mm.
the children can give back to the parents is a self-sustaining behavior, a responsible employee or employer, and generating their own resources to run their whole household. They're not necessarily,
Right.
parents are not necessarily expecting the children to give them something. It's nice if they do, but boy, they really do expect that you take care of yourself. And that's one way
Right.
to give back to parents, that you reduce the worry of the parents that you're not well cared for. It's a big concern for me as a parent. My 38-year-old, my 35-year-old, my two sons, I'm always concerned that they're taking care of themselves. And when I know that they are, I feel they're giving that back to me. They're reducing my worry about them.
Yeah, this
Right,
is why
but
they
what
say,
about when you
this
get
is why,
old? Sorry,
yeah, but this is why they,
Professor.
sorry, this is why they say when you're parenting, it's not a once-off and then it stops. It's just a continuous journey, this parenting. It never ever
It's
ends.
true. It's true.
We're
And
dominating
then there is the
Sameena.
inevitable aging that's going to happen later. And, you know, and here in the UAE, I mean, my husband has a very good thing that he does. I mean, he takes such excellent care of his elderly father, and up until his mother passed, he took such great care of her. And he always told me, you know, I'm partially doing this because I love them and I have to because they were my parents, but I'm also doing this to set an example for our children, because so that, you know, when we become very old, they won't just abandon us. You know, they'll see the example that I'm setting, taking care of my own parents, because what goes around comes around. You know, so if you don't take care of your own parents, you know, chances are your children are going to also mimic that behavior and not take care of you later, you know.
So to draw Sameena back in to this
Yes.
conversation, you are caring for like a child in a sense, or children, because you have alive parents. You know, you don't have children of your own, so you're not looking at what they're giving back to you, but you're in a position giving back to your parents still. And that's, please give us that perspective.
Yes, as you guys were talking, I was just thinking about my life in terms of, how I have taken the responsibility of my household. The moment my dad retired, I would say, as much as we want the children to be independent, like, in the US or any other Western countries, in India, it's a little different. For us, if if the families really brought up the child well with good manners and good character, that family has been lucky enough to say that this particular child will actually take care of that family for a life. But if the child is not on the right track, we don't know what's going to happen about that family, because parents normally, we don't know if parents really have that much. They try to save as much as possible. My dad never had any loans, and alhamdulillah, he was always self-sufficient and self-made, and we saw him develop himself and take care of the household, all six of us and mom and everything. And every time we saw him taking responsible decisions, and that made us more and more responsible in our own ways, that we also need to do what dad is doing. And today, when I recall, he's not with us, and I recall so many decisions which probably I wouldn't have understood at that time. I really know why he decided the way he did for those things. So throughout my time when dad was back home and he retired and he came back home, I remember that he was a little worried that I have retired now, and how do I take care of my family? And it was such a miracle that I would say that I just got on the job, and then I said, dad, it's okay, absolutely no worries at all. And at the same time, I had to take care that he was not offended by me saying that, because he has raised six daughters, and the last one standing up to him and telling him that now it's okay, I will take care of it. No, it doesn't mean that you cannot, so I'm taking care of it. It's just that I'm giving him the confidence, the security, and the respect which I owe. Until date, I think I owe it. It's my duty, and I'm fulfilling my responsibilities by taking care of my sister, my sisters, my mom, and their children. I'm happy
That's
to do
amazing.
that.
That's part of the
Absolutely.
art, definitely part of the art of giving back. And so that's why I'm so glad we're always on this program, because we actually speak about the diversity that we are. We speak about the reality that we experience, and we talk about, and I think we covered the subject quite well. And if Sister Mia, Mehreen want to add something additional, it's fine too. But we want to realize that this is the art of giving back. This is what children give back. And those words you just used, Sameena, um, identifies it well. So I really, really appreciate what you say. I really appreciate how Dedra brought it out from many perspectives. And Sister Mia, oh gosh, You know, you live it daily in your life, in your struggles, and you see if a child can bring what you're doing to school, they are very proud of what you do. And so they're
Yes.
giving you back a reflective mirror of what you do by wanting to take you to school. That is a wonderful gift that you can give a parent. And so
Yeah.
I really, really appreciate that. Amazing. Who said this one wasn't going to be emotional?
Well, I can give you one last little tidbit if you guys want to hear it. You know, in terms of our situation, having an autistic son, I've always told my kids, you know, my husband and I look after ourselves, our health extremely well, because we consider that to be the best gift that we can give our kids, to look after our own health so that we can really try to prevent, you know, becoming disabled or frail or, you know, or sick or anything, as at least as long as possible. You know, we can put it off as long as possible, because I've always told them, I really hope you don't have to take care of me in the end of days, but if you don't take care of your brother, your autistic brother, after your father and I are gone, I'm going to haunt you like the worst poltergeist you could ever imagine. So you'd better get with it, get on that, because I'm going to be watching. That I do expect children to give back.
Right here on Free Talk, Free Talk with Mr. B. We're going to make sure we're going to keep an eye on our children during this life and afterlife.
And after, yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you for everyone for listening on Facebook and our listening audiences. We're going to take a quick break and come right back and discuss how we're going to go into season 4.